Alrighty, so I know that it says the stream will begin soon, but I'm just going to take these next 3 minutes and 20 seconds to basically introduce what we're doing and tell you what the plan is over the next month, basically, with the streams and the channel and what we're going to be doing. So this is the first stream slash video of Farming Simulator, and it's Farming Simulator 2013. Now, so with Farming Simulator 2022 coming out, I guess it's some Farming Simulator 22, I don't know. Anyway, it's coming out, and I was trying to think about how I could get started with streaming that and everything else, and I had a plan I think you guys will love. So I started playing Farming Simulator back with Farming Simulator 2013. None of the other games, 2015, 17, 19, had come out yet. This was the first game I came to. I know there's Farming Simulator 2009 and 2011. I didn't start playing those. I don't have a copy of those. So that's not really part of my story. So this is where it all started with me. This was actually my very first computer PC game that I started playing. So this is pretty cool for me. You know, how long ago was that? Like 7 years or more? Maybe even 8. Anyway, it's quite a long time. And I thought it would be cool if over the next month, Farming Simulator 22 comes out on November 22nd. That's when it's released officially. And obviously, we're going to be playing it as soon as it comes out. We're going to be streaming it, having all kinds of fun. But here's what I thought we would do. We can divide this up into each week. So for the next week, I'm going to be streaming Farming Simulator 2013 in the evenings about this time. And we're going to start out just playing just like we normally would and just experience what it was like back in 2013 playing this game. And we're going to see what it was all about. And we're going to do that. Then towards the end, we will get a little bit extra money in there and see what it was like towards the end game, just to kind of get the full experience of what Farming Simulator 2013 was like. The next week, we're going to come in with 2015, do the exact same thing. We're going to start out small, work our way up some, and then go ahead and get some extra cash in there and see what it was like towards the end game. We're going to explore the maps, explore the machines, see how the graphics looked, see how the gameplay was, just see what it was like. You know, have some nostalgia if you played these games. And we're just going to really enjoy this, and it'll get us really hyped up, I think, for when Farming Simulator 22 finally launches. So I'm super excited about it. I hope you guys are too, and I hope you'll join me for this, whether it's live with me here in the stream, or whether it's post-stream, watching this as a YouTube video. Either way, I really hope you enjoy this, and let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, basically we're just gonna go take a week with each game and spend some time with it. So without further ado, the stream is about to begin. Let's go. I apologize for some of the issues you're going to see in graphical glitches. I'm new to streaming, so I'm just trying to make this work as best I can. I think the game audio is going to be way too loud, so let's try that. Sorry, it's going to be black for a second. Keeps doing this. Why is it not showing? This is a full screen application. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Hold on, we're having some technical issues. Let me try this. I don't know why it's not showing it. This is not good. Not sure what I'm supposed to do. This is the fun of live streaming and everything else. Alright, well, I'm just going to restart the game and see if that fixes it. Nope. This is so annoying. Okay, let me just make sure. Yeah, that volume sounds pretty good. Will it help if I put it up here? My goodness. I genuinely don't understand why it won't just show it. Alright, well, I'm just going to remove that. And let's see what I can do to get this going. My goodness. Game capture. Is there a way to make it not full screen, maybe? I'm just genuinely trying to figure out how to get it to show. Oh! Great. It decided to show it now. For absolutely no reason, it's showing it. Okay, well, I guess I can't complain, but anyway. Here we are. So, these things are so finicky. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to start out a new game. And we're going to start it out in easy, that way we can progress as much as we can. And we're going to go to Heggenstedt, because that's the map that you would all start on. Especially if you didn't have the Titanium DLC or anything. This is the map we would all start on. So, let's do it. Oh man, this is crazy. You had the old help things. This is cool. I got to say, for how old this game is, it still did look pretty decent, all things considered. I mean, I know that there were games that looked better than this for this time period, but it really did look good. So you started out with $12,000. That is crazy. You start out with so much more money in the newer games. Here's where you sell your straw. Wow. Absolutely crazy. Insane. Well, let's get started. I guess we'll fire up this combine. I do miss some of the old machinery that they have. Like, they just don't have quite as many things like this. Press B is started. I feel like this is kind of loud. I don't know if it is, but I'm just gonna pull back that just a little bit. And then remember, you couldn't just hold down the speed button because then you would go too fast. Just detach. Look at that. That's so crazy. But yeah, you have to hit that too. That would be your cruise control. That's it. Well, they stop so quickly. Wow. There's not a way to turn off the straw with this harvester. I don't know if that's all harvesters like this, but that's crazy. Alright, I'm going to keep the stream for 1 minute so that I can check the audio, so just hold on. Okay, I think that should be good. Hopefully it's not too loud. Obviously some of this stuff will just get worked out as I listen to it post-stream, and we'll try to do better next time. Anyway, so I'm going to hire the worker, let him do that. Yeah, look, here's where you got your fertilizer. Man, this is crazy. Alright, so this is the tractors that you start out with. I love this old tractor. It sounds just like the tractor that the real life tractor that we have. It's a John Deere 5. It sounds just like this. That is sweet. So I always liked, well, there's two ways we can just do that. Pulling the trailer with this one just because I like this tractor. Alright. I don't have the key for turning on the beacon, so I'll fix that. There's not a way to do it. That's stopping distance. These old tractors. So fun. I remember this old Puller, or however you pronounce it. This was like the staple tractor when you started out. Love that diesel sound. Whistle. That's good. Looks like our buddy up there's full. I'll go unload him. This guy doesn't have reverse lights. Full there, bud? And it does not matter where you park the trailer. Will fill up equally. Now here was the funny thing. You also started out with all these other tractors. Man, this seems really loud. Alright, hold on, I'm going to check this one more time, sorry. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna bring that down just a touch more. Hopefully that's not too much. And yeah, hopefully we'll get this sorted out. Anyway, what I was saying is that you started out with all these extra tractors, and they were kind of placed in places to kind of get you to like pay attention to the map and see what else there was. And this was the cow yard. This was the only cow yard you got. It didn't have any more. And this is where it was located. So no matter what, this is where you were doing the cows. It's not placeable. It's just there. This is how it looks. You can't change it unless you do mods or something. And yeah, it's pretty cool. By the way, these old tractors are so slow. My goodness. I mean, it's realistic. I wouldn't expect this tractor to go much faster than this in real life, but yeah. So yeah, this was where you did your silage pit for the cows, and you would fill it up, and then you would collect it with your machine or your bucket, and put it in your mixing wagon, and then you dump it over here, or in here, excuse me. And yeah, you'd put your total mixed rations in there. And this was where you got your manure, and of course the big blue tank over there was where you got your slurry. And you can't see that. This field 35 here was how you basically always turn that into a grass or like cornfield, so it's convenient right here. By the way, this was the map. Look at how big this thing is. Like, it takes up a quarter of your screen. It's just ridiculous. And this was... No, it's not. That was so crazy how they had it set up like that. Anyway, the other thing you could do was reset things to the shop, or well, I guess to the farm is where it went. So there's one more tractor over here. This is at the sheep area, and the sheep area, again, this was where it was. You didn't have any choice. And yeah, they took up this whole area here. They did provide you with this nice big shed to kind of keep all your sheep stuff and equipment in. And yes, this was how the missions were done. You literally just had a pop-up on your screen telling you what it was you needed to do, and you could either accept it or not right then and there, and that was it. This one's for mowing. 7,700 dollars for it, and you have to do it within 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And we're not going to accept that because we don't have a mower to do it with. So yeah. Anyway, we're going to reset this to there. And our final tractor that's just randomly placed on the map is this one. And this is actually kind of a good tractor to have here, because you could have a place to get your eggs sold. So I'm just going to leave this here because we may buy some chickens. And this will be a good way to get to the egg selling point, and a cheap way as well. So yeah. Let's check on our harvesting bug. Yep, he's definitely full. But yeah, this is so like nostalgic. Like, I just remember doing this. Wow. Anyway. So we're gonna take this back to shop to sell it, because I'll put it simply, we don't need this many little tractors that are this slow. I'd much rather buy some more of the Sam's, or however you say it, the little red tractors, or you had a better tractor. Excuse me, I'm a bit sleepy. Been having these. But yeah, look at the terrain. I mean, it was just so bare bones. Like, it just got a rocky texture. Yes. Cars had physics back in the day. They would mess you up, and you could run them over. They were are also super eager to run you over. And yes, we still have the same zombie pedestrians that we do today. Okay. Oh man, look at how bad the graphics are though. Like, it's alright, but man, that's just... And look, it's the same dude. Here and there. Oh my goodness, that's so bad. I mean, even the new games don't particularly have that many characters, but it's just bad to have 3 of the same person walking. Wow. And yeah, here's the vehicle shop. Bare bones. But yeah, you could bring your vehicles here and still sell them for, like, I think it's 20% more than if you did it any other way. And yes, you can still come inside and buy. And you can go up the ladder and everything else. And I loved how they have these big, like, cardboard things in here to display equipment. That's hilarious. And yes, you could climb buildings. Pretty crazy. And just walk around on the roof or whatever you wanted to do. And yes, the AI was just as bad as it is today. Miss bits and yeah, it's just how it was. Let's take this guy back over there. And yeah, you had all these big storage sheds. There's your silos. Look at those men. And yeah, that was all you had. You didn't really have that many like placeable buildings or anything like that. But look at the shop in a minute. Obviously, as we make more money, buy a few things as we can. And like I said, towards the end of this week, when we get to, we'll add a little bit of extra money in so that we can look and see exactly how it was towards the end of the game. I don't know how much gameplay we'll actually be able to do, but we will use, like a combine and this and that together, and just see how it was. Maybe we'll do like some biogas or something at the very least. Yeah, so here was the shop. You just had a list of everything you have. You can sell it. You don't get to pick which piece of equipment is sold. It's just you can sell one in the order that you bought it and everything else. And yeah, you had all these tractors, and then you had stuff like this is some DLC stuff with the Ursus and everything. Case Magnums and all that is from the Titanium edition. So is these. So are these old tractors like the Farmall? Excuse me. This was the Linder DLC as well. When I bought this game back on Steam, because I'd lost my copy of it somehow, my original copy of it, I just bought all the DLC because it was like almost nothing. Then you had your front loaders. You had the thing with that thing, which was a terrible piece of junk. Then you had the big wheel loader that you would use, and of course you had the telehandler. That was awesome. And then you had this thing, which was just like the coolest tractor ever. You would just use it for like everything. And look at how little horsepower it has. Like, I don't think we realized how low horsepower some of this equipment was back in the day. Then you had the Ursus with the Ursus pack, and this tractor was so cool. Plus it had this bale grappler that was super handy with the round bales. Yeah, crazy. Harvesters. We had so many Excuse me, I need to quit yawning. But you had so many Dutes harvesters, and you only had like 30. You had like the one upgrade over this one. You had 3.5 meter working width. Then you went up to 5.4, 7.2, and well, 7.2. There's literally no difference between the two, except one's cost $2,000 more. And then you just had capacity, capacity, and capacity. And then you had the corn header for the big one only, pretty much. Or I don't know if it would work with the smaller one or not. Anyway. Then you got the Krone forage harvester. And all this stuff was still super expensive today. It's just crazy. And then you had, with the Titanium edition, you got all the case harvesters here. And the big corn header from that, because this one was only 7.9, this one was 9. You had a 10.5 and a 13.5. That's so much wider than the Dutes. So this was literally just an upgrade when you got the Titanium edition to get these bigger combines. And then you had, obviously, even a bigger forage harvester. Is it technically bigger? No, it's like literally the same. It's just got like more horsepower and whatnot. And this extra equipment. Your potato harvester, you just had your grinding, and that was it. Super expensive still. Same thing, beet harvesting. Tippers, it was just pretty standard. You know, you had your cheapest tender, then you had a little bit of an upgrade, then you had these with the dollies that everybody hated. Even more of an upgrade. Well, actually, that held less. Then you had that, which was more of an upgrade. You just kind of kept getting bigger. And then this was just, you know, the biggest, best trailer that you could get. Everybody used for pretty much everything. And then you had the dolly if you needed to use it. And if you wanted. And then you could either spend less money and pay $20 a day, or you could spend twice as much money and only pay $10 a day, because logic, I guess this was heavier duty, so it was less maintenance. Then you had some forage wagons, and then you had a Marshall from one of the DLCs, and the Ursus from the Ursus pack. Cultivators, again, it was just pretty standard. You know, you got your cheapest ones, and you just keep getting bigger. And by the way, there was no horsepower requirement, as you can see. Like, it's just, here's your working width, here's how much it cost, and you know, it's got a little bit of description here. And yeah, that was the biggest one, 8.2 meters. So yeah, pretty crazy. Plows, you had 2.1, 3.5, and then the 4.2. And yeah, it's just crazy. Sewing machines, you got this little thing that I kind of wish they still had, because it's so cool looking. Then you had this, which was a really cool one because it directly cultivates, and you didn't need a cultivator with it. Potato, and by the way, this was how it was organized. I mean, you just had plows, sewing machines, and it was all on the same thing. You know, there's the potato one. These will plant anything. Then the potatoes, plant anything. Potatoes, plant anything. This one was for corn or beets. Anything, anything, anything. And then that one was for corn or beets. Then you had the first stat pack. I think that was another DLC that I bought as well. This thing's cool because it also doesn't need to be tilled. I think this one also doesn't need to be tilled as well. So yeah, and that was the biggest one they had, was the 15 meter, nothing beast. Fertilizer spreaders, you pretty much always just bought this, which we probably will, and then you know, you can get the bigger one, but you don't have to. So yeah, we'll probably buy that. Then you had your sprayers, and you basically had your smallest one, 24 meters, and then it just doubles to 40. And then if you just got loads of money, you can get the self-propelled one. But it's literally the same. It's the same. Then you got your manure spreaders and everything. Yeah, this was the Marshall pack, and then that was the Ursus one, which, again, that was the cool thing. So, like, when you got the DLCs, it was just, like, something better. Really pretty cool. Slurry tankers. Yeah, I think this was the biggest one, and then this was the bigger one. There's the Marshall pack again. This thing was cool. You could buy this for so cheap, and then you could go do mowing missions with it. And you could collect grass with it. Really cool little machine. And then you pretty much just had... It was so simple back in the day. You had the cheapest side blade mower you could get, and that's what you pretty much started doing hay with. And then you could buy the front and the rear for the tractor version, and that's what you would do hay with for a long time. And then eventually you would buy the Krone Big M 500, and this thing was a beast. We loved this thing, and then they started taking it away in the later games, and I don't know why, because this thing was amazing. Obviously they added it back in 2019 or 19, but yeah, this thing was severely missed in 15 and 17. Windrowers, you just, again, it's just simple. You go through, you had these, and this was the biggest standard game one that you got, 12.5, and then if you bought the Titanium edition, you got this Krone Squadro 2000, which was 19 meters, which was a huge upgrade. Absolute beast that thing is. And then of course you had the little Ursus one, which is basically a different version of this one that's actually cheaper, and it's narrower. You had some Tedders, and again, it's just like, here's what you start with, here's what you upgrade to, and here's what you finish with when you get more money. Loading wagons, these were really useful, but they were super expensive, and a lot of times it was hard to get them until later in the game. Baling technology, you had your bale trailer, and then you had this, which is what everybody got, because this was super easy to use, and we all loved it. And there's the baler that you would use with it, and then there's the round baler, Marshall pack. Then there was the Ursus baler, and this thing was cool because you could wrap bales and make silage, which was really cool. And you also had the self-loading baler for the round bales with the Ursus, which was also super nice. Then you had feeding technology. Again, you had the straw blower, the cheap version of the Total Mix Rations machine, and then you had the self-propelled one, Comfort 12, self-propelled vehicle Comfort, and this is what you would use to feed your cows. Weights, it was super simple. You had this one for most of your small tractors, 600 kilograms. Then you had this one that was fairly cheap for 1,000, and then you had the 1,500 one, and this was the biggest one you got. And they were all just super cheap, like $400. Just absolutely buy all of them you wanted. You had a header trailer, water tank, and a fuel tank. Just bare bones. Here's your tanker if you need it. Then with the Titanium pack, you got the Horsch auger wagon, and that thing was cool. It's, again, auger wagons have always just been something that's more just like cool to use rather than necessary. But it was a cool little addition, just made you feel a little bit special. And then this was really one of the main reasons you would buy the Titanium edition, to get the semi-truck. Because without it, obviously you had mods, but just as far as in-game standard vehicles, you didn't have a semi-truck back in the day, unless you bought the Titanium edition, and you got this truck. And this truck was really cool. I loved the horn it had. I loved the way it sounded. It's really cool. Again, we'll look at that probably later in the week when we have enough money. I highly doubt that we're going to make enough money to buy most of this in the next few days, especially with me doing so much talking. And yeah, that was it. You could sort by brand. Then there was the animals. This is how you bought them. You just literally said, you know what, I want some. We'll buy 10 chickens. Might as well. And yeah, we'll look at those later. Then you had placeables. You had the bee house for 20,000. You got $60 a day from the bee house. Greenhouse, you got 160, but you also had to fill it with manure and water. Same thing with any of these; they were all the same. They were just different versions if you fancied them. Then there was the solar collector, which made $380 a day, and then basically towards the end of the game, you would put windmills down, and they would just bring in 4,000 an hour. Whereas these only did 380 an hour, and yeah, you would just have unlimited money just pouring in from your windmills, and yeah, you wouldn't have to do anything. You just do whatever you wanted. Then you had mods, and right now I have the antique mods installed. This was a really cool pack as well. I wish they had it in the newer versions. You had all these tiny old harvesters, and these old grain wagons, old cultivators, old plow, old sower, old fertilizer spreader, manure spreader, old slurry tanker, old mower, windgrower, tedder, loading wagon. This thing was cool. I bought this thing a lot because it was super cheap, and it was self-propelled, and it was just awesome. And then you had these old balers and bale technology, water tank. Then you had tractors again. And yeah, it was super cool. Just, yeah. It was so simple. Front loader. Well, we don't have one. Anyway, I've jabbered on enough. We've got to get Buddy going here again. But yeah, that was the shop. That was all it was. It was super simple. It wasn't exactly easy to find things. But it worked, and that's all that mattered. Yeah. It was great. Anyway, I did say we were going to buy fertilizer spreader. How much is that? 9,000. I may just buy this thing. I'm just gonna buy that one. And by the way, this is actually an official mod made by Giant, so technically it's part of the game. It's not like just some crazy mod with some random bloke made. Woo! And yeah, with the chickens, you just bought them, and they were just passive income essentially. You just had to go in there and collect the eggs, and that was it. Oops. I'm used to that being the button to unload. It's Q in the old version instead of I, which obviously you can revamp it. You dumped it in there, and then if you wanted to get some. If you wanted to get something out of storage, you had to pick the correct one. You had wheat, barley, canola, and corn. That was your 4 crop types. That's all you had. You also had potatoes, and it was actually so much easier to deal with your potatoes and sugar beets because you weren't able to just dump them freely on the ground. They had a literal station to be dumped in. This was the only place you could store them. So yeah, crazy. That's where you filled up your seeds. You could buy them on pallets. Let's see. Oh, I was going to buy a loading wagon. Alright, we need a little bit more money. We'll have to sell some crops or something first. Before we can do that. Alright, let's go unload Buddy. He's finally finished doing his, I love that sound. You don't see that with the new Farming Simulator games. Oh, that's so awesome. I mean, it matches. I mean, this is an old harvester. It's probably going to have some squeaky pipes on the downpipe there. what do you call it? What is this called? It's just called spout, whatever you want to call it. And then there's the battery. Is that all hilarious? Smoky goodness. Okay, so we can't really make any progress if I want to collect this straw with that machine. I'm going to have to sell some crop first, which is fine. I'm curious, how much is this field? 24,500. Okay. Yes, the buying things, the buying icons were in the middle of the fields back in Farming Simulator 2013. That's where you went. You didn't go to the edge of the fields. And yeah, the trees. They're simply aesthetic in this version of the game. You can't cut them down, you can't get rid of them. They are permanently there. Yeah. No eggs yet. And let's fill her up. And now we need to see who is offering the best price for wheat. Freight yard is 19. Looks like the mill is. Where is the mill? Oh yeah, I remember. That was the other thing about this game. It was so hard to learn where things were, what they were. Well, because it didn't explain anything, and there's no information on the map. You go to this map view, there's nothing. You go to that map view, there's nothing, and that's it. There's no way to know what things are on the map, and so you pretty much just had to learn and watch other people's videos and everything else to learn where things are. The learning curve was a little bit steep, needless to say. And also, yeah, you can pretty much drive up any terrain you want in this. And then it's so easy to just get stupidly stuck in a way that doesn't make any sense because the physics are just so bad. And the audio. Think about the audio here too. The tractor engine speeds up with the speed of the tractor rather than with the actual engine. Or, yeah, obviously you rev the engine up to speed up. You don't just let it slowly increase. So, and also I let off, it doesn't really slow down. It's just pretty much full tilt, and that is it. So yeah, I believe this is the mill. That's pretty good money. Enough to buy that. And there's something else. You could not rent or lease or borrow equipment at all. You bought the equipment and that was it. Yeah, this is the mill. Oh, that's the other thing. If you wanted to loan money, you had to come to this thing. And even on easy mode, you started out with a $50,000 loan. Yeah, that you have to pay interest on and pay back. So, yeah. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And this here was another interesting thing. All the fields were not owned by other players. They were just kind of there, like the government owns them or something. And you bought them. You would have to do the first plant. And excuse me. That was it. There was no other people owning the fields. There was no missions in the fields. There was no missions really except for transportation of pallets and look at this thing, eh? That's what I love about Farming Simulator. It just had all the oldest, crazy looking equipment that you could imagine. I mean, I'm sure this thing existed. This thing's cool. But, like, you don't have this type of stuff in the new game at all. You don't have a dually, tractor, butcher, loading wagon that's self-built. Just don't. And you can also just change the mission frequency. Like 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, or never. And they would just always pop up like they just did. That was the only way to get missions. And it's just as annoying as you can expect, because you're in the middle of something and then this mission, there's no other way to access it. You either accept it right then and there, or you don't. And yes, the pickup was actually animated on this thing. But it just magically picks it up, puts it in the bag. That's all there is. There's no animation, there's no dust, there's straw animation or anything. And you can pick this up at whatever speed you want it to. And the hay has no depth really to it. There's no collision with the hay on the ground or anything. It's just drive over there and pick it up. There is a first-person mode. The graphics of this thing are very, very minimal. But there is a first-person mode. This is so crazy. I've got to say, for me personally, playing this is just so different than playing the new farming simulators. Like, just the amount of stuff that you can and can't do, the way you can do things and can't do things, is just so different. And just the feel, like just how it turns so rapidly, it's so snappy. It's crazy. This just feels so bare bones, it's insane. Utterly ridiculous. And also, farming dude, look how he's gripping the steering wheel. I mean, it's just so crazy. And he doesn't move his hands at all. He's just sitting there, just an absolute statue. It also had that brake sound. But yeah, this is just so crazy. This is how far you can zoom out back in the day. Pretty good. I mean, it's not like you couldn't zoom out. See, zoom in pretty close. That's one thing that's not changed. The camera always been the same on this movie. It's not having any changes. Compared to like something like SnowRunner or Spin Tires or whatnot. And yeah, as far as like the straw, you know, in new games you can dump it, you can store it just by dumping it somewhere on your farm. Back in this game, you couldn't really dump anything on the ground. Always had to have a quote storage thing for what you were gathering. If you didn't have a storage thing, it's staying in the vehicle, or you sold it. So there was really just like a quick way of dealing with everything. You couldn't just keep it around. You know, you could leave it in your vehicle, but if you needed the vehicle, you had to do something with it. You know, it was just this very quick-paced mentality of like, you know, get rid of it, get rid of it, get it done. And I love how boxy and stuff in there is. Like, you can tell they just looked at the case and they were like, yep, that's how it should fit in there. And yeah, that's the shape it's gotta be. And then it just magically fits to that shape. And then it doesn't actually touch anywhere in the cage. It's just like floating. It's hilarious. Also, no warning that it's full. It doesn't automatically turn off or anything. It's just like, oh yeah, it's full, by the way. And then yeah, you could either save this and take it to your cows if they needed it, or back it in here and sell it. And you make pretty good cash off of it. I mean, we just made what we had 6,500. Now we're at 8,000, so we made $1,500. Is that right? I'm so tired. Yeah, $1,500 off of this tiny field of straw. And I mean, obviously the truck prices would be different if you were playing on a different mode. You know, that would be less at normal and hard mode, but we're just going to be playing easy mode for all of these. Because of the fast-paced nature of this gameplay, and also just because, at least for me, that's typically what I've done, because I don't spend a ton of time in these games. I did play them, especially back when I first got this. I played this game solely. That was the only game I played, so I played this game for hours and hours. You know, now, of course, I've got a lot more games that I play, and to some extent a lot less time for games. So yeah, I try to make the game as fast-paced as possible to progress as quickly as I can, because I know I'm not going to have that much time to play. So I want to make it as aggressive as possible, because this game does take a very, very long time to progress in. And there we go. So we got a full wagon as well as 22 extras. That's not bad. And, you know, if you did that a few times, you would pay for this machine. And cultivating. Yes, you would kill the grass when you cultivate it, and then it would just grow back. Love the plow animations there. Like, the disc arrows are just not even spinning. The only thing that spins is the part back here. Which to me, I'm like, why would you animate one part but not the other? It doesn't make any sense. It's so abrupt. Like, they animated the back spinny baskets, but not the harrows? Okay. But yeah, no dirt animations. There is a dust. I will give them that. They did put some dust down. And notice this, there is no notifications there's an issue. It doesn't say that it's blocked by an object or it's unable to move. It's just, yep, it's stuck. You'll know when you come and look at me. Another little extra bit of money there. We'll probably use this thing where we're getting grass too. Maybe we'll feed some sheep if we get any. I don't know if we'll have time for that or not. We'll see. So there we go. I guess we need to get our sewing machine going. What are we gonna plant? Oh. How do you... Oh. So, I guess we'll plant some barley. Because that's still going to give us straw, and we do want to use our loading wagon to make that extra money. This tractor's so slow. Rammer. XL200. Hello, tree. Yeah. I just remembered that as well. When you buy seed, the only way it works is if you're doing it yourself. Other than that, if you hire a worker, it's going to pay by person. I will give them this. They did animate those gears back there, which was pretty cool. I remember the first time I noticed that, I was like, wow, they animated gears. I can't get him started yet because, just like the harvester, he misses things, so we're going to have to come back and fix that. Anyway, the other cool thing we would do, that you still to some extent can do in all the games, is take all the crops that they give you in the storages. Here, you can see we've got sugar beets and potatoes. Go ahead and get these guys first. They just gave you so much. You just figure out what to do with them. And you basically just sold them right off the bat. So the port is offering the best price. I do remember that. That's pretty much like how it always is. You just always go to the same place. Whoa! With this stuff. So let's go on a little road trip. Yeah, I know about fuel. Thank you, though. And yeah, this is how it looked in first person. Gauges, they're there, they're modeled. But they don't do anything. They don't move, they don't show any sign of life. In fact, it says we're out of gas and that the engine is not running. I love how the draw distance is so bad. You can just see things popping in as I get close to them. And this is on max settings. Like, top, everything. I mean, my computer's decent. And, yeah, it's still got this circle of loading. Yeah, the cars were still slow even back here. The car's going about 20, 22 miles an hour or something like that. So we're really fast. Anyway, this is not the port. I don't remember what that actually is, but I know it's not the port. You just keep on going. No damage, no nothing. See how well this is labeled. Oh wow. From back here it looks like it's actually a sign, but yeah, no, that's not a sign. I feel like there was kind of a... Oh yeah, here we go. This was something you used to be able to do too. You just kind of get in the corner. You could climb up things like this. Wow. Well, here's a good view of the game. Look at that skybox. Completely still. Even if I speed up time, it doesn't move. Sun doesn't move, clouds don't move. It is just a skybox, that's all it is. Oh, here we go. Come on, mist. I believe these you can't walk on. Yep. But yeah, you could climb the telephone well, not the silicone, the power wires back in the day, and not get electrocuted, by the way. So yeah, terrible graphics, but fun little glitches like that where you can just climb up random telephone, or not telephone, power towers. And whatnot. Anyway, so here's the port. I'm still not used to hitting the Q button. I was so trained to hit the Q button back on the play of this, and now the new games have been messed up getting I to upload. And there was no way to change which side of the trailer. It just decided it didn't want to do it all by itself. Look how bad that mountain looks from here. It's just the graphics are just so bad. Now, again, for 2013 or 2012, whenever this came out, now this isn't terrible. I know there were better games than this, but Farming Simulator, right after 2009, 2011, this was such a huge upgrade. Such a huge upgrade from what I've seen in the features. But yeah, you'll understand what I mean when we go to 2015. It's just night and day difference. And look how the tractors just climb up pretty much whatever you want it to. I mean, like, here's some super steep. Slow down a little bit, but then it just goes. It doesn't care. And again, Giants had to pretty much make the maps the way you want them, with storage and sheds and everything. They're like, alright, you're probably going to want a storage shed over here by this field, far away from any other places, so you can put some storage there. And they had to, because you weren't able to pick up any other... You weren't able to really place sheds. I mean, you could if you got a mod, but there wasn't anything on the games. If you wanted to do it, they had to do it for you. Let's see how much a big wheel like this would cost. I think it's like, what, 70, 80,000, maybe even 100. 100,000, 102,000, 2.2 acres. Good gracious, that's expensive. Our buddy's just about done over there. In fact, he may be done. Looks like he is. And junk like this would happen all the time. Just would get stuck under the stupidest things. But we can do a sick wheelie. This thing is four-wheel drive. Okay, so can we just back out? Is that an option? I hate trailers like this so much. Like, I just want to... And then this is what you would always do. You would hit the reset thing and then try to not select it all. Reset it. The amount of times you would do that is hilarious. I mean, most of it's stupid. Most stupidity. It's also just because the game is so unforgiving. They did have directional plowing back in the day, if you turned the graphics up. And yeah, that's the key. If you turned the graphics up. If you didn't, it would just be one direction. Wouldn't care what way you had planted the field, it would all stay the same. But if you do turn the graphics up, it does let you change the direction. Third place, but again, it looks absolutely ridiculous. And very limited in the directions it'll do. It's either straight, one way or the other, or at a 45 degree angle. That's the only directions you get. Let's get our buddy. And then I'm going to go grab the fertilizer spreader so that we can get our field fertilized. Forgot about the horns. So that just sounds like your average car horn. It's nothing special. And I don't have the key for the beacons right now, but I will fix that on the screen. Go into the key bind and fix that so that you can see what the beacons look like back in the day. Oh, I thought that was vertical hazards, but that's actually the 3-point hitch area. That was another thing. The headlights. If you had the graphics turned down low and you turned up the front on, and then turned the back on, the front would turn off. So you couldn't have all the headlights on at the same time. If you turn the graphics up, it lets you do it like I'm doing now. So many silly little things like that about this game. Just like, why would you do that? Like, I guess if some people had such potato computers, that would help. Still, that's just crazy. But that's how it was done. So yeah, we're not going to fill this thing up with fertilizer, although you would do it over there with the blue tank. But I'm not going to fill it up because the helper just hides it himself. So I'm not sure how wide this is, but not hire a helper for fertilizer spray? Surely you could hire a helper. I'm not stupid, right? Couldn't hire a helper for these things. I did love how blatantly obvious it was where was fertilized and where was not fertilized. Because you've got just this pitch black dirt. It's just like, yep, that was fertilized, yep, that was fertilized. And this was no question. Now it's almost difficult to tell. Which, granted, that's more realistic. It was just nice to know that was fertilized. I'm wondering if it's this mod. Is it the fact that I have a modded fertilizer spreader that I couldn't do it? We're gonna test that right now. Because honestly, I'm not a fan of how that fertilizer spreader is either. For this fertilizer spreader. I mean, it's okay, but it's just so small. So yeah. Anyway, we are getting close to having to cut the stream off. For probably about an hour and a half now. Well, probably about an hour and 20 minutes. points, I guess. Excluding the connection issues. Oops. That thing's so cheap. It's crazy. And yeah, you could not leave your headlights on. To get out of the vehicle or turn it off. So does the engine. There is no manual starting of engines. And again, curbs were a nightmare. If you want to go up a steep slope like that, pretty much no problem. Weight is also very minimal on this game. Weight does exist as far as like cold trailers and stuff. It's not that big a deal. You can pretty much tow any plow in the game. You can tow like the Leosaur with that kind of track. And it would not matter. Such a learning curve here. To be a veteran of this game and not remember things like this. So yeah, back in Farming Simulator 2015, you had to fertilize fields yourself, which was kind of cool. You know, that is one thing I liked about not being able to hire workers to do certain things. It will let you have things to do. You would let your workers cultivate seed and plow or whatever. Oh, they always do a terrible job plowing. But you would let them do that, and it's like, well, I'm going to come in here and do it. And for all you OCD players like myself, there you go. Yeah, I think that about does it. Obviously, we'll have to finish selling that later. Hasn't had enough time to go over the. We haven't had a day cycle yet, but we'll go to that next time. And yeah, we'll take some more crops to the sell points and things like that, and yeah, make some more money. We'll buy some new equipment, we'll buy more fields, we'll explore more things, travel new places. I love how the audio says that there's children. Ah, yes. Horseshoes were one of the things that you could find. It was collectible, and I don't remember what you got for finding all of them. I think you either got money or something like that. I can't remember what the achievement was, but yeah. You could find all the horseshoes. And I think there was more here somewhere, if I remember correctly. And yeah, that was the house and everything. Okay, maybe there wasn't more here. Could have sworn there was some. I guess not, maybe it was different. Anyway, yeah, so thanks for joining me for this first stream. Sorry for the little bit of a difficult start there. I'm not sure why I couldn't get the game to come up in the stream settings, but I did, so yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow night for the next stream. We'll pick up right here where we left off, and yeah, we'll do this for, like I said, the next 3 to 4 days, and then towards the end of the week we will cheat in some money. I'm just going to say it, that's what it is, cheating in some money, so that we can buy some of these nice big pieces of equipment to try them out, maybe do some potatoes or whatever, at least buy the big case equipment, do some big harvests, buy the big prone harvesters, cut some chaff, do some biogas stuff, maybe do some pet cows or whatever. But yeah, we're going to look at all of it. We're going to have our nostalgia, and we're really going to play this. And again, like even now, I'm already just like, man, I cannot wait for Farming Simulator 22 to come out to play that. I'm even excited just to play 2015 compared to this. Like each game gets better and better, and yeah, it's really exciting. So yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. See ya.